What happens to your hedges when interest rates become negative? Many companies have received financing at variable rates. By definition, they pay a variable amount of interest at each period. In order to hedge against interest rate increases, they have signed interest rate swaps. According to these contracts, they receive the variable rate from the bank, which might be different from the bank that issued the financing originally, and they pay a fixed rate. This way, we can see that the variable rate they pay on their financing is reimbursed by the variable rate they receive under the swap. These two rates cancel each other out, and the company ultimately pays a fixed rate. The risk that interest rates might increase has disappeared. It has been hedged. But what if interest rates become negative? If the variable rate becomes negative, the company should normally receive cash from the bank that originally provided the financing, and the company should pay the same to the bank that signed the swap contract. Normally, there should be no problem. But in fact, this is not the case, because the financing contract very often contains a clause that stipulates that the company cannot receive any cash from the bank. The company pays the variable if it is positive, but receives nothing if it is negative. Such a clause generally goes unnoticed, because it is often said that interest rates cannot be negative. So, in the unlikely event that variable rates do become negative, the company simply stops paying interest, which is not so bad after all. But things are quite different on the swap side. When variable rates do become negative, the company starts paying interest on the variable leg of the swap, but continues to have to pay for the fixed leg. Anytime interest rates go further down, the overall cost of the transaction increases for the company. It is difficult to claim that such a hedge is effective. In addition to a very real economic risk, this situation also creates a risk that the hedge be disqualified from an IFRS point of view. Is such a scenario really possible? Switzerland is a good test. Swiss LIBOR today is negative up to 8-year maturity. For its part, the European Central Bank has announced as part of its assets purchase program that it would buy assets with returns that are as low as minus 0.2%. Negative interest rates are seriously considered by the ECB, and they form part of our current landscape. Our brains and management tools are not naturally tuned for such a scenario, so we'd better start preparing today.